Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Vicki-Lynne. Thank you for stopping by. So glad you could join me. Today I have a grocery haul and a meal prep. A twofer today. And just in case you're not sure, if you haven't been to my channel before, I follow a plant-based diet, also following the starch solution. So if that interests you, stick around. If it doesn't, you should stick around anyway. Plant-based is where it's happening. You need to follow a plant-based diet, and I'm going to show you some great, interesting recipes on a plant-based diet that are interesting, delicious, and easy. But first, let's get into our grocery haul. I actually have a grocery haul between Costco and Aldi this week, just because we had been out of town. We kind of ate our way through our fridges and freezers, and we needed to stock up a little bit. So we're going to get into the first part, which is Costco. And again, we didn't go overboard. We kind of just buy as we need. And we don't have a big fridge or freezer here. So again, if you're following the starch solution, you know what the first ingredient is going to be. What? That's right, potatoes. So I actually got two different types of potatoes because we use different ones. So these are the russet potatoes, and yes, they're like 6 pounds. And also the gold potatoes, another 6 pounds. So I love the russet potatoes. I'm going to throw some of those in our food prep in the Instant Pot, and also the golden potatoes. So the russet potatoes I like cooking ahead of time, so I have those in the fridge that I can throw in our air fryer and make French fries or hash browns. And then the golden potatoes I like using in my cheese sauce. I'll add that in here. Everybody has to have no fat, no oil cheese sauce to put on all of your great greens and vegetables. They're just delicious. And we also use them for our mashed potatoes or in our scallop potatoes, anything like that. So potatoes are where it's at. And you don't have to worry, potatoes are not fattening. It's what you put on your potatoes that'll make them fattening. The other thing I got at Costco was a big thing of baby spinach. I love my spinach. We love our greens, and we're going to be doing more salads this week. I think I'm going to be going back to more of my 50-50 plate, so I want to make sure I had greens. And my husband likes to do some juicing also, so the big greens. And we did find some edamame, which we do love snacking on. And those are in the little packs that you could just snack on. So we did buy that, and that took up quite a bit of room in our freezer. Also, we got the organic 4-berry blend that has the strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. And we love putting that on our morning oatmeal. And that just makes everything delicious. And any of our other little snacks, we like just to defrost those and have them just with other things that we like. And also mushrooms, because you have to bring mushrooms to the party because they're the fun guys, right? So you got to bring them to the party. I like to saute them up with just onions and have them on the side on my 50-50 plate with my potatoes or whatever else. So they're so economical. They're the most economical place I can find them is Costco. So I like just to always have mushrooms on hand. Also great in your salads or anything else. I actually brought a lot of bananas because I am out of frozen bananas for making my nice cream. And that's usually kind of our evening snack a lot of the times. So I did grab a bunch at Costco, and I did grab a bunch at Aldi. The ones at Aldi were a little more ripe. These ones I'm going to let them ripen up and then stick them in the freezer. So one bunch of bananas. There's another bunch. I didn't bring them out though. And then just a bag of almonds. We like to snack on. They're the natural almonds. And they're also good for making your almond milk. If you want to make your almond milk, we have a Vitamix. Very easy to make your own almond milk. Super simple. Now for Aldi, again, I did keep it kind of simple. We just needed some greens and stuff. Again, my pantry and canned goods, I'm still working through. I had done a big haul, quite a while ago, and had a lot of canned goods that I'm making my way through. So We got some hash browns. These are 0 fat, so if you don't want to have to shred your own, they're perfect to have in your freezer for breakfast. Sugar snap peas, also another great snack. I like having these while I'm just working. It makes it so much easier. I have regular celery for cooking, but my husband likes the celery hearts just because they're a little bit sweeter. So we picked up that. Just some romaine lettuce to mix in with our spinach to make our salads. Trying a different apple this time. So I had the Lady Alice apples last time, guys. Those were delicious, but I decided to try these ones. These are Pinata Apples, so I'm going to give these ones a try. And apples are kind of my go-to snack, to be honest. I really just like cutting them up and snacking on them. Those are honestly, my go-to snack. Those and bananas. Had a bag of oranges because they were on sale. And I kind of do produce what's in season because you're going to kind of get the best of whatever. So you don't want to get strawberries in the wintertime because most of the time they're not going to be the best strawberries. You know, strawberries are best when they're local and they're in season. So anyway, we got the oranges and a small bag of avocados and then just a bag of frozen blueberries, again, for oatmeal and just for snacks. And for if I do my baked oatmeal, any kind of those things, or if I'm making muffins or whatever, and pancakes, yes. Ruben's behind the camera going, don't forget your pancakes. Your pancakes are delicious. So that is our grocery haul, and stick with it. I'm going to show you in a few minutes what we're going to be making this week for our meal prep and what we're going to be eating, and you don't want to miss those recipes. All right, so we're going to get started with the meal prep part. And the first one I'm going to get started with is my favorite, which is the hash brown cauliflower kind of casserole bake that I do. I think that's been my favorite so far. So I've kind of defrosted. You don't have to, but I just find it easier to mix the hash browns. And there's kind of no measurements, guys. I mean, I've had this in my other meal preps. So I'm just going to take my hash browns. I just take them out a little bit before just so that they soften a little bit easier to mix. And I'm just using what I have left over. I just kind of eyeballed it that it'll fit in this pan. Same with the broccoli. I'm just using a package of broccoli. You could also use fresh broccoli. Again, I'm just trying to keep this simple. Thing of broccoli. I'm also going to add some green onions today, because they need to get used up. And I just think that'll add some great flavor to this. And again, I always rummage around to see what needs to get used. And then I try to do my meal prep around that. Obviously, I do my groceries, but I also try to see what needs to get used, and then I like to add that in. But this has been one of my favorite recipes. I think it'll be one of your favorites. It's super easy. You could also, the last time I added a bag of the cauliflower rice, but I think my pan is too small. I don't want to make a huge pan because it's going to be kind of a short week for me this week. So we're just going to, and then the famous cheese sauce. We all know the cheese sauce. I'll put the recipe up here. I'm sure by now you have your own cheese sauce that you love. This is the potato, carrot cheese sauce that we all make. No fat, no fuss. And I think this week I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And again, these things come as we work. I'm going to add a little salsa to it, just to add a little zing to it. You could add a little pico de gallo, a little salsa verde. I'm almost out. There we go. Might as well use up the rest of this jar. There we go. There we go. Now I like my potatoes to be a little bit cheesier. So don't forget, preheat your oven to 375. Depending on what you're cooking, we're cooking another casserole. So I have it kind of in the middle for both, so 375. Super simple. And again, I'm always making a large batch of that cheese sauce because I like it on my vegetables during the week. I am trying to keep everything kind of as a 50-50 plate. And with the amount of potatoes and broccoli in here, we should be at a 50-50. So in my pan it goes. Trying to make sure that all got mixed. Spread it out. I do like this better. More broccoli this time than last time. That actually does look like a 50-50. So then that one is all done. We're going to throw that in the oven and just bake it till it's kind of brown and bubbly and delicious. Well, I broke my first rule of every meal plan. I forgot to get my potatoes going in the Instant Pot. So in the Instant Pot, we're going to put our potatoes because those obviously take the longest. And you know, in every bag of potatoes, there's always one that's going bad. I actually found that one right off the bat, so I saved the rest of the bag. So I just cut that off because, again, these are just going to be used for fries or hash browns. So it doesn't matter kind of what they look like. So in my Instant Pot they go. I just get so excited to show you guys new recipes and stuff that I forget. So put the vent on. I'm going to like slow down. Okay, vent is on. Going to, those are bigger potatoes, so probably a good 20 minutes. I would do 21 minutes because they're big. So we're going to let those go now. Those are fine. Our casserole is in the oven. That cheesy hash brown broccoli casserole. I love that one. That's my favorite. So now I have a new one for you that I think you're going to really like. So I'm trying out these new potatoes, and these are like sweet potatoes, but they're not like the yams or the yellow sweet potatoes. These are like Japanese potatoes. So they have like a white flesh, and they're just a little bit firmer. So we're going to give these ones a try. And this is, again, just stuff that you have in your pantry, and you can mix and match. And I'll give you some variations. And again, you can just switch it up. We're going to keep it really, really simple. Just going to move that aside. So we're just going to peel our sweet potato. So I think they either call these Japanese or Oriental sweet potatoes. Where I found them, they had a sign saying Oriental, but I think other people have called them Japanese. Leave me a comment below if you know this. Leave me a comment below if you guys have been doing your meal preps or not, and if you find that it's helping out. So this one should be like a 50-50, give or take. So I've already meal prepped some black beans. I'm going to insert the footage here. And I also did some sprouting. So sprouting is a lot of fun. It's kind of boring, but it's fun to watch them sprout each day. So I did do some sprouting, and I'll attach some footage in here too for you. So I'll let you watch it. So I'm just going to sprout some seeds. If you've never done it before, it's super easy. I'm actually using this starter kit. You can get different seeds, and actually I'm also going to do some aduki beans, or you can get mung beans too. So I'm just going to do it in a mason jar, super simple. First thing you're going to do is put some pure water on them, or filtered water. and you're going to let them rest. I use just a mesh. You could use cheesecloth. If you have cheesecloth, you can cut it to the top of your jar, or you can even use a milk bag if that's what you had. I'm just using, this actually came with a kit. You just get the mesh, fine mesh filter, and you just use a mason jar. Makes it much easier. You're going to let them soak. Now the little seeds, you're going to let them soak the first time for 4 hours. With our aduki beans, these ones are going to soak for 8 hours. And then you're just going to rinse and repeat every day, twice a day. And again, we're just going to let those soak for the first 8 hours and 4 hours. You're going to drain them, change the water, and then when you do that, I'm just going to show you. You're going to drain them, give them a shake, and you're just going to lay them on their side and leave them be all day. And again, in the evening, you're going to rinse them again, drain them, and within about 5 to 10 days, they'll start sprouting, and then you'll have, these will be aduki bean sprouts, and this is like a mixed sprout, and they are great on your salads and your sandwiches. So I'm just going to cook some black beans in the Instant Pot, and I'm just doing that for my meal prep this week because I have a bunch of recipes, or a few recipes anyway, that I'm going to utilize my black beans. And I've already rinsed them. I'm going to put them in my, just picking out a few that I missed, I guess. Okay, so in the slow cooker, I'm going to add in some water. Now I didn't soak these. You can soak your beans. There you go. And they're pretty simple. Again, you can always buy your black beans. Okay. And then just manual, and about 22 minutes. And they should be perfect. Now that you're back, you saw me make my black beans. You saw how I started sprouting. Sprouts are really good for you because you're actually getting the most nutritional value you possibly can out of anything because it's at its optimal state. Okay, so we're just going to cut this into chunks. And again, cooking time will vary on how big you make your chunks. We're going to put this in a pan. I'm using 2 sweet potatoes. And I think my pan is going to be fine for that. This one's going to cook a little bit longer. I'm trying to make my potatoes a little bit smaller. Goodness. Get my arm workout today for sure. Okay. Okay. So this is super easy. It's going to come together really fast. I'm using a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. You could use just plain crushed tomatoes because it has juice in it. I'm just going to spread this over. And again, if you're just using crushed tomatoes, that's fine. We're probably going to need to add a little bit of liquid to this. We're going to add in some corn. Now I drained the corn. You could probably use the juice from the corn. but I'm actually going to make a little bit of broth. I'm going to take the black beans that I already cooked. We're going to use probably about a cup. Maybe a little bit more. Give this a little bit of a stir here. It does look super good already. Now, for seasoning, I'm going to add some garlic. Again, you could use fresh garlic, use what you want. I'm just trying to keep this super simple for everybody. Everybody usually has powdered garlic. I'm going to use my own taco seasoning. You could make your own. Get your cumin, get your chili powder, coriander, make your own. I'm just going to top this off with just a little bit of taco seasoning. Again, we're just trying to get a package of taco seasoning. I want to make it super simple. I like to watch my sodium, so I just like to make my own. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this blend of just peppers and onions. This is always great to have just in the fridge. It's already ready to go. And I won't fry this time because I'm not cutting the onions. And yeah, once this starts heating up, it'll all kind of wilt down and it'll be fine. Okay. Now it is going to need some liquid. So I'm going to get my better than bouillon and a little bit of hot water. I'll get that to hot. Now, if you had your own veggie stock, like we always make with all of our scraps, like we've always talked about, then you could just use that. I don't have any made up right now, so I'm just going to use my better than bouillon. And this just adds so much flavor. And that's all we want to do is add a little bit of juice in here and some flavor. So I'm actually using the chicken one, but they have a great veggie one. They have a good non-beef one. Of course, non-beef, non-chicken, guys. We're just going to add that in. And you're probably going to need about a cup. Let me just add a little more. And you're just going to want to eyeball it a little bit. Just want to make sure that your potatoes are covered. And we're going to cover this for the first half hour. And then you're going to take the cover off for the last 20 minutes. This is going to cook for about 50 minutes altogether. And you want to obviously cook it until the potatoes are tender and everything is bubbly and delicious. Now I'm going to do a Napa Cabbage slaw of sorts. Just kind of something I thought of. Needed to use a few things in the fridge that I saw. But just throwing something together. We're going to see how it works. So I had bought a Napa Cabbage, thought that would be great for a switch. So I'm just going to kind of shred it. Just find Napa Cabbage is like so fun just because it's kind of curly and light and fluffy. So again, I think this one's easy enough to just cut or shred by knife. We still have our potatoes cooking. Our casseroles are in the oven. And this is just going to add something very light. This will be one of our side dishes to add with our 50-50 plates. We're good on that. So in our bowl it goes. And we want to add some color to it. So I happen to have purple cabbage, red cabbage, whatever you want to call it. I'm also going to slice this very finely also. And then the thing with this kind of dressing, we're just going to do like a vinaigrette with it. The longer it sits, the better it gets. And so that's what makes it so great for meal prep. And that goes. Got all these great colors going. Also going to do some carrot. So you could do the long shreds of carrot. Just keep doing this all day. That would also be very pretty. Yeah, that would be pretty. But I'm just going to grate it. Much faster this way. If you had a food processor, even faster. But really, it only takes a few minutes. Not even that. Okay. That took less than a minute. The salad is coming together so quickly. Okay. A couple of green onions. I'm going to save a few for garnishing. And again, just use what you have in your fridge. Red onion would be really good in this too, diced up, if you had some. Okay. And then we're going to do some cilantro. Okay. Now to do our dressing, just get a little bowl. We're going to make it pretty simple. We are going to grate a little bit of ginger. See if I can get some ginger grated in here. So I always freeze my ginger. It just makes it way easier to grate. And then you always have fresh ginger to use. You don't have to worry about it because that stuff kind of just, goes easily. Some rice wine vinegar. We have a lot of salad there. And we are going to have to play around with it as we do it. A little bit of miso for that little umami flavor. I'm going to say maybe about a teaspoon or so. Garlic. And again, you can use powdered garlic, fresh garlic. I'm going to be using some orange juice. I'm just going to use a fresh orange. And a little bit of lime juice. For a little tartness. We are going to need some fresh pepper. We might need some salt. And I am going to put in just about a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. Now, I know we do oil-free around here. That is strictly for the flavor. And if you're looking at the amount of salad, we're strictly using the sesame oil for flavoring. If you don't like it, leave it out. But again, we're strictly using 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil for the flavoring. And we just want to get that flavor in there. That's really good. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. Get my salt open. There we go. A little bit of fresh ground pepper. And again, adjust the seasonings to your liking. You might want a little bit more orange juice, a little bit more vinegar, a little less. Again, adjust it to your, you can add more water. You can add water if you need more liquid. And then we're just going to pour this over. Give this a good toss, and you're going to want this to just sit in the fridge, chillax. Give it a couple of tosses just to make sure everything gets really well coated, and then it's going to absorb all of those great flavors of your dressing. All the way down at the bottom. It's gorgeous. This salad is so pretty, guys. All those great colors. There we go. So just cover that up, stick it in the fridge, and you're ready to go. Let that just chillax, let all those flavors meld, and the longer you have it in the fridge as the week goes by, this salad's going to get better and better if it lasts that long. So we're going to get everything out when everything is out of the oven, and I'll show you what everything looks like and what we're having for the rest of the week. So we're just going to make some oatmeal for breakfast, and this is chocolate mocha oatmeal. Yep, for breakfast. It's going to give you a little pep in your step. So we're just going to add our oatmeal, and it's pretty easy. It's a 1 to 2 ratio, sorry. So 1 cup of oatmeal and 2 cups of your plant-based milk. I'm using soy milk. You use whatever you have. We're using 1/3 of a cup of cacao powder. Now, if you just had cocoa powder, that's fine too. The cacao is just, has more antioxidants in it. To give it that mocha flavor, we're gonna add in some instant granules, just 2 teaspoons. And you can see I'm using a decaf one because I do kind of watch my caffeine intake. There we go. We are going to add in just a couple of tablespoons of kind of chocolate chips, dark chocolate, vegan of course, just to make it a little extra chocolatey. And then about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and it just depends on how sweet you want your oatmeal. I don't like my oatmeal super sweet. And then you can always adjust it. You're going to bring that up to a gentle simmer, and you're going to cook that for about 5 to 7 minutes until your oats are cooked. So these have been cooking for about 5 minutes. Now, if you'd like them a little bit stiffer, just continue to cook them. They'll keep absorbing. This is exactly the way I like mine. So I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to show you how to dress them up. Okay. We're going to have our oatmeal. I like to put banana on mine. And a few pecans. Just for that crunch, guys. If you aren't doing the starch solution and you're not doing your nuts yet, that's okay, but I don't think a couple of pecans are gonna kill me. Could also do some lovely coconut shreds on that. That would be delicious. And I'm actually gonna do that. Just coconut shreds. I'm just doing this to make it look pretty. And the crunch will be extra nice on this. There we go. There's your breakfast. Mocha oatmeal. It does look like dessert in a bowl, but it's good for you. Okay guys, so that is our casserole that we made with the sweet potatoes and black beans. It smells so good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. I'm telling you, you have to make this. It's delicious and nutritious. We've got our potatoes out of the Instant Pot. They're ready to go for whatever we want to do. Stuffed baked potatoes. I was actually thinking of just warming the baked potatoes up and just putting this casserole on top. That would be delicious. We also have our broccoli and shredded potato casserole, cheesy casserole, which usually is my breakfast. I'm going to be honest with you. I love that. I also have, I'm making a Mocha chocolate oatmeal that I'm going to insert at the end of this video, just before this last clip. And our Asian slaw. This is, again, look how colorful it is. You're getting all your colors. It's delicious. It's filling. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this meal prep for this week, guys. Coming up with some new videos for next week. Stay with me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.